WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, X, and our website, www.wvtcdetroit.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users.
This is Soulful Inspiration. It's your girl, Nikki Jones. This will be an hour to feed your soul with music and laughter, information and inspiration. You're listening to WVTC Detroit. All designed with you in mind. So sit back, relax, and get ready to join the conversation with me, Nikki Jones. Soulful. Soulful inspiration. Inspirations. Yes, sir. Inspirations. I am your girl, Nikki Jones. So glad to be here tonight. I thank you for joining us. You're listening to us on WVTC Detroit, where we are winning victory through Christ. And we are excited about it. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is going to be a wonderful show tonight. I promise you. I think that tonight is going to be impactful to all of us in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Because why? We are talking about heart disease tonight. And I know you know somebody who has either experienced it or somebody who has either who's on medication for it or who has had some issues with heart disease, whether it's your high blood pressure or hypertension or high cholesterol or any of those things. We're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to chop it up tonight about that. Why? Because it's important to me. It's important to me and it's important to you. I'm promising you, you're going to benefit from this conversation tonight. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I am not going to be by myself tonight. I know I look like it, but the word says that if he is with you, he's more than the world against you, Something like that is say. So anyway, my beautiful co-host is joining me tonight from an undisclosed location. Hey, Pastor Denise.
Hey, hello.
Hey,
Hello.
how you feeling tonight?
Wonderful.
Good. I'm glad.
Glad to be in the number.
Glad to be in the number. I want you to come a little closer to whatever microphone you're using.
Okay, is this better?
Yeah, that's better. That's
All
better.
Right.
Nice. So we're going to talk about heart disease tonight and just, especially with the African American community. We experience this a lot more than others. And there are a lot of statistics and stuff like that. We're going to talk about that. But Pastor D, are you impacted or have you been impacted by heart disease in any way, either directly or indirectly?
My mother passed from a massive heart attack at 56 years old with no prior history of heart condition.
Wow.
So, yeah, 56 is a little young, but she had a massive heart attack and transitioned at 56. So,
Wow. Yeah. So, yeah, it is not lost on me how serious this is, and even more serious for African Americans because this is one of the number one things that takes us out. And unfortunately, I have a friend who passed away just last week, and it was due to heart disease. It was due to a heart attack that he had a couple of weeks ago, and subsequent procedures happened after that. But he was not able to. His heart just gave out. Pretty much. They did all they could do. They medicated him. They did open heart surgery. There were other things that they did to try to repair the damage to his arteries and things like that. But ultimately, we see that he made his transition, and of course, we know that God understands all. He is sovereign. He does what he wants to do, and he allows things that he wants. He allows certain things, and even in all of that, I feel like sometimes we can prevent some things from happening with just the way that the decisions that we make. And and I'm not saying this is his case. I'm saying in some cases we can make the decisions that will keep us here a little bit longer, or at least not be the reason, let heart disease be the reason that we transition from this life to the next. And so I just wanted to have an open conversation about it tonight, because I think that a lot of people are still, you know, um, doing things in a way, or making decisions that are more about what they want than rather what they need. What would you say?
I think there's a medium of truth to it, but I also think that there's so many different angles to it, because in the African American community, statistically, it's been shown that we don't always get the proper care that we need, even though we have health insurance. So what I would say is it's so important to manage your care. I talk to people and they say, well, my doctor said do this, or my doctor said, and sometimes, yeah, that just don't sit right with you. So you have to be able to speak up and manage your care. If you're not, I hear people all the time say they go to the doctor's rude, the doctor doesn't have bedside manner. And I ask them all the time, why do you continue to go to him? There's other doctors.
Yeah,
You're paying him. He's not paying you to come. You're paying him to treat you. And
right.
so, but there's a fear. There's a seems to be an innate fear in some people that whatever the doctor says is what they have to do. I tell my doctor no all the time. He knows. My doctor recommended a holistic cure. My hand was cramping up, and so I was talking to him about it. He told me drink tonic water. Now he's a medical doctor. You know, he didn't give me no pills, he didn't give me no prescription. Told me drink some tonic water, and how about it worked? So
How about that?
you have to sometimes you have to move doctors, and especially if you have a heart condition, that's so serious. You can't go to somebody and just let them tell you anything. You
Yeah.
know, you're on meds. My sister also has been on meds for heart condition, and she'll go to one doctor and they'll say you shouldn't be on all this, and they'll take her off of it. You know, and just it's the medical system is just not always our friend. We have to really pray about the doctor that we end up with. I think it's so important.
I agree with that. And even people in the medical field are practicing. They are
Yeah,
practicing,
yeah,
and they are practicing on us. I'm just saying. I mean, they're practicing. So some
yeah.
of the things that they're doing, some of the things they're recommending, is because those things have worked for people that they've prescribed them to. And so because it worked for one person, they might think it worked for the next person, and then they think it might work for the next person. And when things don't work, then they try something else. So it's them practicing. And so that's why, just like you were just saying, you have to manage your own care. So yes, they have the education, they have the knowledge, they have they have understanding about how the heart works and things of that nature, how the body works, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it's still your body, like you were saying, and it's still something that you have to manage, as well as the doctors, or the people that you're seeing, or whoever, if it's a holistic doctor.
And they don't all have the Holy Ghost, you know.
No,
Sometimes
amen to
Holy
that.
Spirit directs us, you know, I don't minimize that at all. You know, the Holy Spirit will give you direction. Doctors will give
Absolutely.
you wrong medicine. They sent me home from the hospital. Two different doctors gave me two different prescriptions,
Mm.
and I had to I called the patient advocate and filed the official complaint. I said they could have gave me something to kill me. You know, my pharmacist said, well, your insurance don't cover this. And I'm thinking, why? I went ahead and paid for it. It turns out one gave me a prednisone pack and one gave me 500 milligrams of prednisone. It's not enough. It wasn't anything that would kill me, but they cross, they cross gave me prescribed the medicine to me. And I was just upset about that. I called the patient advocate because that's just not good. Could have been something much worse. So you gotta, you can't be afraid. You gotta speak up. If something is not making you feel right, don't keep taking it. Don't just keep taking the medicine because the doctor gave me this medicine. you know.
Yes, because side effects is a whole nother conversation. Because
Listen,
side
listen.
effects are with any kind of medication that you take. And then sometimes they are prescribing placebos. So they're not always, prescribing something that is going to help you. Sometimes they're prescribing something to placate you because they don't think that you have, as serious a condition. So they tell you go home and take some Tylenol or go home and get some over the counter medicine or whatever case may be. You know what I'm saying? So it just behooves us to be very proactive in our own healthcare and our own healthcare issues and things like that. And definitely, I want to send my condolences out to my friend, my sister Val Ward, Lady Val Ward. And the entire Ward family, and even our friends who are all connected. Elder Larry Ward passed away on this past Friday, and he was one of the most, oh my God, he, first of all, he was a wonderful husband, and he was a wonderful father, and he was a wonderful friend. And I mean, when I tell you, Larry has friends that go way, way, way back, because he was one of those people that once he claimed you as friend, you were really his friend, and that's how he treated you. And then aside from that, he was a man of God. He was an elder in the church. He was a man of the word, and he could sing his behind off. And I mean, when I tell you, Larry used to crack jokes and sing us under the pew at the same time, it was just all of that. I mean, him and Val together, ministering together, was always something to see and something to experience. But even Larry on his own was just a beautiful soul. And it broke my heart when he passed, because he wasn't, I don't think Larry was 60 years old, honestly. And it wasn't something that any of us was expecting to have to experience, let alone his beautiful wife and 4 children. All 4 children are grown. He's got 3 grandchildren, and so it's just it's a huge loss for us, who are his friends and his family members. So in honor of him today, I wanted to play some music. Do we have that song queued up? Okay, we're gonna play one song that Larry was a part of. He's singing with Bishop Daryl Harris and also Pastor Raymond Davis, and this song is called "You Better Recognize."
It's easy to focus on the bad things in your life. Your heart's so troubled that you believe the lie that nothing good to me ever happens, and then you start to cry. You don't know it's all worked out. Just open up your eyes. I'm saying you better recognize just how good God's been to you. You better recognize. You better recognize all that He has done for you. You better recognize. You better. Woke you up this morning, started you on your way. Evil all around you, His angels kept you safe. And out of the darkness of your soul, He gave you a brand new day. You've been messing, He's been blessing in so many ways. I'm telling you, better recognize just how good God's been to you. You better recognize. You better recognize all that He has done for you. You better recognize. Just couldn't see it. So much was going wrong. It blinded me from seeing His love. No doubt I couldn't see it. My head was always down. I couldn't see His grace from above. But now I get it. Yes, now I get it. That His goodness surrounds me always. And now I feel it. I really feel it. Don't it feel so good inside? Don't it make it feel alive? Just how good God's been to me. I better recognize. We better. You better recognize that my God is so good to you. Hey, you better recognize. You better. David said, I will bless the Lord at all times, and His praises shall continually be in my mouth. I've learned to be content in whatever state that I'm in. Listen, the best time to praise God is when you don't feel like it. So I'm here to tell you that God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all you could ask or think, according to the power that works in you. Hallelujah. So you better recognize.
Well, that ended. All righty then. All righty
Wasn't
then.
expecting that, was you? Wasn't expecting
Wasn't
that.
expecting that one. I was like, what?
Great song, Bishop Darrell Harris, Elder Larry Ward, and Pastor Raymond Davis. That song is amazing. And actually in the background is Val Ward and Angenique and Naya Ward. So it was a family affair. So
Wow.
Val, her two daughters, and her husband are on that song. And
Wow.
obviously Bishop Darrell Harris, I believe, is one of the writers. And I think Angenique, I think, is one of the writers, and also Pastor Raymond Davis as well. So
Wow.
just a family affair, a family of singers. And I'm telling you, there is no shortage of impact with that family in terms of music, in terms of ministry. They all have so many gifts. Even the sons are gifted as well. And it's just amazing how God puts families like that together. And, it just amazes me when they all come together and do something like that. How the impact and the family legacy is birthed out of things like that. So that was just wonderful. What did you think of that song?
That was pretty hot. That was pretty hot. I was all in, and then at the end, I was like, where are we going with this? He went on. That was good. I liked it. And I've never heard it before. That was my first time hearing that.
Yeah. So, independent gospel artists are not played as much, on the radio and stuff like that. Some of them are, if they can get that type of exposure, if they can get, that platform. But Bishop Darrell Harris has a whole project of music like that. And I believe his music is called Decent, and that's D apostrophe SENT. So Decent music is available, I'm sure, on all of your media outlets. And that particular song, and I think the rest of his music is also on YouTube. So, you can go to YouTube and look up Decent, D apostrophe SENT music, and look him up and listen to some of those other songs that he has.
Teresa said they're a family of Levites.
Yes.
I like that. A family of Levites.
Yes, yes, yes. It's amazing. And so I wanted to continue this conversation on heart disease tonight. I want to read some brief statistics that I found with regard to Black Americans. It says Black Americans have a higher risk of heart disease and stroke than other groups in the United States. In 2019, Black Americans were 30% more likely to die from heart disease than non-Hispanic whites. Black men are also 70% more likely to have heart failure than white men. And Black women are 50% more likely than white women. Black adults are more than twice as likely to be hospitalized for heart failure, and they stay in the hospital longer and more likely to be admitted again within 90 days. So, what is that saying? I like the pause I had to put there. It's saying that it's affecting us the most. And then when we do go to the hospital, we're more likely to go back for the same reason within 90 days. So, in other words, like you were saying a little bit earlier, it's highly possible that we're going for heart disease the first time, or some kind of heart issue, or chest pains, or yes, it is partly because of our diet. Yes, definitely is. That has a lot to do with it. And we're going to get to that. And I also want to stress, like you were saying earlier, that either they medicate us and send us home and then we come right back. That's that 90 days, less than 90 days coming back, being admitted. Or we do something to exacerbate it, or we don't do what we're supposed to do, and then we end up back in the hospital within 90 days. So there's so many variables here to discuss, but um the main point is it's us. It's us, y'all. It's us, and we got to do better. We got to do better when it comes to taking care of ourselves. My grandfather, when he passed away in 1990, he passed away because he had a heart attack in his sleep, a massive heart attack in his sleep. And we found out after he died from his doctor that he had heart disease and did not tell anybody. He didn't say anything. It was his decision. Obviously, we get that, and that's what he chose to do. He chose not to say anything, but he died. And it could have been, unnecessary. Had he maybe changed his diet, maybe had he followed some instructions from the doctors, maybe he could have lived a little bit longer. He chose not to share that information, and so he passed away in his sleep from a massive heart attack. And I just don't want to see that happen to anyone else. I just don't want to see. I don't want to see that happen unnecessarily. And there are so many things that we can do to at least begin the prevention of heart disease, or begin the prevention of succumbing to heart disease if you already have it. Yours truly, myself, I've been on blood pressure medication since 2009. And it has been a goal. Now, mind you, it's been an up and down goal for me to come off of those blood pressure meds. Now, they've been reduced because I started off pretty high in 2009. So since then, it's definitely been reduced in terms of the dosage. And so I'm grateful for that. But I want to come completely off of them. So, this is one of those things that when it happens, it wakes you up. So if I'm being awakened, I want to do my part to help other people become awakened to it as well. And there's no shortage of information on the internet. We know that. So there's all kinds of things that you can do, and there's ways that we know some of the ways and some of the things that you can see. Thank you, Yvonne. Yes, praise God. We know there are certain things that we can do. So let's talk about uh, the conditions and things that heart disease includes blood vessel disease, such as coronary artery disease, irregular heartbeats, heart problems you're born with, like congenital heart defects, disease of the heart muscle, and heart valve disease. That's just some of the diseases that are connected to heart disease. And symptoms range from a lot of things, and they're the same between women and men. So you have the chest pains, you have chest tightness, you have chest pressure, you have chest discomfort, you have shortness of breath, you have pain in the neck, in the jaw, in the throat, upper belly area, or your back pain. You have numbness or weakness or coldness in the legs or arms if the blood vessels in those areas are narrowed. So those are just some of the symptoms. So if you are feeling those things, especially more than one at a time, don't ignore it. Don't ignore those feelings. Don't ignore those pains. And I think sometimes we do because we just think, maybe it's just a part of getting old or getting older. You know what I'm saying? But we can't ignore those things because those things are serious. Sometimes it just might be gas, but gas can kill you too.
Oh Lord,
Girl,
Lord
gas
Jesus,
hurts.
Lord Jesus.
Yes, I remember having gas so bad in my chest that I thought I was having a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? It felt like what could have been, and I've never had a heart attack, but it felt like that's what it could have been. And I didn't know what was going on, but I knew to get to the hospital and not just ignore it. You can't just ignore when anything is going on in your body. Your body is going to, once it gets to a certain point, your body is going to tell you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And sometimes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's that weakness or pains in the stomach, like you were saying. There's all kinds of symptoms, and women have some different symptoms than men. Most of the time, men feel it, in their chest and their arms, the numbness, the things like that, and women feel it differently. So I don't know. I think sometimes we don't want to know. We don't want to know, for whatever reason. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Why do you think some people just don't want to know when they're really sick and they need to have, they need to be checked out and they need medical attention? Why do you think some people just don't want to know?
I think sometimes they just can't handle facing it. So it's denial. So it's easier to deny it. And it's like, you remember the little kid that sits in the middle of the floor and says, "You can't see me," we think if we don't acknowledge it, that it's not there, but it's definitely there. And it's something that has to be addressed. I think that one of the challenges for a lot of our people is inadequate health care. If you don't have health care, or it costs you so much to go to the doctor that you can't afford it, then that's going to be a challenge. If you don't have adequate health care, then what do? You have to go. And then if you go to the doctor, and my understanding now from several people is that doctors don't want to. I had someone that had a tooth pulled, and she asked the doctor, could she get something for pain? He told her to take Tylenol. Well, if your teeth hurt like my teeth hurt if they pull them, Tylenol, that ain't gonna work. And he literally refused to give her anything stronger. And I think after the big, how we got out of control with opioids in our country, that doctors are afraid. And my understanding from people that are in the medical field that there's some are actually forbidden to write prescriptions for opioids. So it's a different world out here. You got to go into the medical. You got to go in here managing your health care prayerfully. You need help in this medical system.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a lot of people commenting here, that there's fear involved, like you were saying. And Someone just mentioned days off, like taking days off work.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an issue as well because some people don't get sick days. They just have vacation days. And so they have to take a vacation day to go to the doctor
Yeah. Or a day with no pay. Who
or a
can
day
afford
with no pay.
who can afford to take a day with no pay?
Right,
So
right.
it's a lot of we got. I mean, those are just things we need to think about as in life as we go out and we get jobs and stuff. We need to be prayerful about that, and we need to ask
Yeah,
God to help us because it's hard when you don't have adequate health care. It's very difficult.
it
And
is.
then when you have adequate health care and you're going to doctors that really don't care about you, that just compounds things.
Yeah, it does. I know some doctors are still, they're still being offered a lot of things by pharmaceutical companies, different drugs or different trials that they can, put you in. And, there's different studies that people are doing that you can, become a part of particular studies. But we know we don't want to be guinea pigs. We want something that's going to work. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's even more challenging as well. I thought you was about to say something. You look like you was about to say
No,
something.
I was just going to say that it's information is so important that we share information because
Yeah.
a lot of the major pharmaceutical companies, if you don't have the money for the prescriptions, they will work out a plan and they will give you the prescriptions for free. You have to go through the process. You have to submit your income, and they will give your prescriptions to your doctor for free.
That's true.
but
That
but people don't know that, and they don't, and so they don't know how to reach out to the company and ask and say, I don't make enough money for this prescription, can I get it for free? Then your doctor, he gets samples. Ask your doctor sometime, do you have any samples?
yes. Yes. That's good. That's good. And then I mean we have to also address, our diets. And
Well, there's
how
that. Well, there's that.
well, there's that. And and sodium is the number one, I would say the number one thing to address, even if you don't go as far as to remove uh so many things from your diet. Even if we could just lower our sodium levels, that I think would be a very good start. I think that has worked for me in terms of my dosage being, lowered because I lowered my sodium levels and I exercise. And even if we don't do a lot of exercise, going for walks is the easiest form of exercise that anybody can do, unless you are in a wheelchair. Even if you're on a cane, going for a walk, at your own pace on a regular basis, because you're putting your body in motion, it becomes easier for you to do it the more you do it, just like anything else. And I think sometimes people get, you know, um, discouraged because they don't move as well as they want to. But everybody has their own pace, and your pace can increase, or the pain lessens. Your joints get looser and more flexible. The more you move, the more your body will move. Yeah, have you experienced that? Because I know you do a lot of walking.
I do a lot of walking, but before the sodium issue, I substituted and switched from regular salt to um sea salt, and then to Himalayan pink sea salt.
Hmm.
Um, I think that it's much more healthier for us. Um, there's a certain amount that your body does absorb, but you can get up on a Saturday and drink a quart of sea salt with I'm sorry, a quart of water with 2 teaspoons of sea salt in it, and don't go nowhere because it's going to flush through your body like liquid plumber. That's a substitute for taking chemically laden laxatives. It's
Wow.
natural. You know, so and so that tells me that your body doesn't absorb as the sea salt like it does the regular Morton's and the girl with the umbrella. It's much more healthier for you. And then there's also the celiac salts, but
Yes.
the things that you have to investigate, and you have to, somebody has to give the knowledge. But it's much better to do that. I do walk. I also do aquafit. um I have a beast of a teacher. We burn about 1,000 calories in an hour. So
Wow.
I do that 3 times a week. And then walking. Like last night, I didn't bother to post it. I think I did 15,000 steps. Um, because I keep moving like that. What I found is if you don't move,
Exactly.
if you don't move. So there's days it's cold. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get out of the bed. And I push myself, because if you don't move, then you'll be around here on the walker and a cane. And I'm not. I got too much pride to do that. Too much vanity. Too much vanity. Y'all pray for me. We got some vanity going on
You
here.
got some vanity? No, not you, Pastor D.
Got some vanity. Don't want to be. When I had my knee replacement, I struggled. I didn't want to
I
be.
remember.
I didn't want to be on no cane. I don't want to be on no walker. Herb, get this knee right so I can walk. I didn't want to be on no walker.
I remember, but something that you said is very important. You said I struggle, but I pushed myself.
Push myself.
You pushed yourself because your goal was to not be laid up in the bed. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't see that. What did she say about garlic powder and black pepper?
I flavor mostly with garlic powder and black pepper. So she's saying she seasoned, her food and stuff mostly with garlic powder and black pepper.
See, we gotta, you gotta kind of back up off that Lawry's. I know we love Lawry's, but you gotta. I haven't had a bottle of Lawry's in my house in so long. But then I don't cook. Don't let me perpetrate like I'm over here cooking, because I'm not. I'm just
well,
not.
You make a mean potato salad, Pastor D. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Okay, potato salad, but it wasn't no Lawry's in it either.
No, there wasn't no Lawry's in it. Yeah, and that's very true. Teresa, I do the same thing. I use a lot of garlic. I use a lot of Mrs. Dash. I use a lot of garlic powder.
Do they use that? Somebody said MSG. Do they use it?
No, that's a lot of salt. She's saying that's just a lot of salt. Anything with MSG in it.
Oh yeah, MSG is just not healthy.
Lawry's is MSG, but they do make Lawry's with no MSG. At least they say they do.
And like when you order your Chinese food and stuff, you have to tell them no MSG, because what it is, MSG is a flavor enhancer.
Yes,
so they pour it in heavy to enhance the flavor, but it's not good for you. There's people. Somebody said it tastes good.
You said
There's some people.
Yes,
my dad was asthmatic, and if he ate MSG, it locked him up. So you got to be careful with MSG. My dad, when he had asthma, and if he ate MSG, it would lock him up.
Oh wow!
Whenever I order Chinese food, I always tell them no MSG, because they pour it. They, whoever that is said it tastes good. That Chinese food must be really good, because they pour that MSG in there. You got to watch that MSG.
You do. Well, Chinese food in general is high in sodium.
Yeah, Accent is the brand name of MSG.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah, Accent is MSG.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea that that's what that was. But I remember, seeing that in some people's homes, Accent, and it wakes up flavor like that. That was a commercial for it.
Somebody who that keeps saying MSG tastes good.
Our station chief here, Sandy Rose.
God, Miss Sandy, leave that MSG alone.
It tastes good. But it's
it's a flavor enhancer. So it adds to the flavor, but it's just not good for you.
It's not good. It's not good for us at all.
Just like pork chops and sugar. Come on, we can make a list of stuff that ain't good for us, but it's a man on Facebook. He say things the black church don't want me to say. He say, but I'm gonna say it anyhow.
I know you're talking about. But it's true. If you just make the switch. So can we get some people to just make the switch from the regular salt, the ionized, whatever that salt is, Morton salt with the little lady on there, the big blue can and blah, blah, blah. Can we switch to sea salt or either to the Himalayan salt, the pink salt?
Pink sea salt has so many nutrients in it, it has so many nutrients in it.
It does.
The celiac salt is better for you. But, it's a hard play when you live in the ghetto and you could go to the what's that store,
The Save-On.
not Save-On, but their chain. I see the Spartan. You can go to the Spartan store and get 3 things of salt for $1, versus pay versus Himalayan pink sea salt and having to pay $6. It's kind of a no-brainer. You got to do what you got to do. So
you have to train your palate, because what you're used to eating, it's not going to taste the same. You won't be able to, it's no use in let's see, which one do I want? There's Chinese food on my leg. Amen. You got to make a decision. So that's why I said, let's start with switching salts. If we can start with switching salts. Yes, Dollar General is another place. Gas stations. Don't eat where you buy. Well, I don't know. Well, I'm just saying. Well,
I post a post by Dick Gregory. There's 2 things. Dick Gregory was 74 and his wife was 71, and they were on no meds between them. He said, drink water and walk. Now we ain't talked about cutting out soda. Y'all in that Pepsi and them Cokes. Drink water and walk. He said a lady came up to him at his thing and said, I can't walk. I got bad feet. He said, then walk bad.
Yeah.
But walk. And those 2 things, he said, drinking water and walking. So
and that's what I was saying earlier. Like that's something that unless you are incapable of walking at all, if you just walk, just start with walking and start with changing your diet from salt. Just go for a 5-minute walk for as long as you can stand it, and then move up gradually to a 7-minute walk, then move up gradually to a 10-minute walk till you get to like 15 to 20 minutes. And if you can do 15 to 20 minutes a day, that's all you need to do. That is all you need to do. If you can do a 15 or 20-minute walk every day and drink more water, unfortunately, you cannot outrun the kitchen. No, you cannot outrun the kitchen, but we can walk right? We can walk, and let's change salts. So who's in with me? And I've already done it. I've already changed from the regular table salt to sea salt. And I also have pink Himalayan salt as well. So I will get rid of my Lawry's. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm gonna get rid of my Lawry's. Lawry's. I'll get rid of my Lawry's. I'm not ready to get rid of my hot sauce yet, so don't take me there. But I'm trying. I'm one step at a time.
Isn't hot sauce vinegar? Is hot sauce vinegar?
I don't know what hot sauce is, but Frank's hot sauce is in my cabinet. I know where it is.
It looks like vinegar. It smells like it would be vinegar.
I don't know, and I don't like every hot sauce. So it's not like I have to have hot sauce. I just have to have Frank's, and I don't even put it on everything like I used to. So I used to put it on chicken, but I don't use it. I don't put it on chicken anymore.
Replace it with Mrs. Dash. You can't replace hot sauce.
Replace hot sauce with Mrs. Dash. You talking about salt, Larry? You must be talking about salt.
Oh, salt.
Yeah. I use Mrs. Dash. I use Mrs. Dash now, and I actually like it. And I also use oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it now, but I think it has a little bit of salt in it. Dano's, depending on which brand you get. I like the Dano's seasoning, and he has different combinations of seasonings, but they're all combinations with with garlic and onion powder and thyme and all kinds of things. So Dano's seasoning is really good as well. But I'm gonna get rid of my Lawry's. I'm making a public declaration that I'm gonna get rid of my Lawry's.
How you gonna fry chicken?
I don't fry chicken.
You use the air fryer?
Yep, I use an air fryer.
That's the other adjustment we need to make is the air fryer, because it really does come out good.
Yeah, it really does. And I don't when I use my air fryer for chicken, I don't put flour on it at all. I just season it and put it in the air fryer. So I don't deep fry anything. Now, I'm not saying that other things haven't been fried. Like, I still like my fried green tomatoes, but I fry those in olive oil as opposed to, vegetable oil. So, every once in a while, if I'm eating fried chicken, it's because somebody else made it. I'm at a repast, unfortunately, or church dinner. We got to get better with that too now. So we can't be at funerals eating fried chicken
We get string beans though. We get string beans with them.
with a whole bunch of salt.
They give us string beans with the fried chicken.
And yes, if they come out the can, it's even worse. There's so much sodium in the canned green beans. Yeah. We just got to do better, people. We just got to do better. And you have to figure out what's going to work for you, where you're going to start. But I need everybody to start somewhere. Pastor D, you've already surpassed people in terms of your level of activity, and I know you don't fry anything, deep fry anything as well. So what what else is it that you do that you think would be helpful to other people?
I'm going to tell you what changed my life. And I had, first of all, we were always night eaters. My family was night eaters.
Hmm.
I really thought when you wake up in the middle of the night, you're supposed to get up and fix you something to eat. Miss Sandy, I used to get up and fix something to eat. I thought that's why you woke up in the middle of the night. And
Wow.
and so when I started doing intermittent fasting, I was amazed. The weight loss, I don't care what I eat, it's stabilized.
Wow.
I don't eat anything after 8 o'clock, and then I don't eat before 11 o'clock the next day. And at first it was torture, because when you ain't ate before you go to bed, you wake up thinking about food,
Yes.
and it was hard. But now I'm so used to it. After 8 o'clock, I don't eat. And one trick for me is I have to go on and go to sleep. Go in bed and go to sleep. Don't be staying up watching TV because then you want some popcorn or you want something. So intermittent fasting has been for me, and everything. Somebody posted it earlier and said everybody's different, and they are.
Yeah.
There's no one size fits all. There's no one size that fits all. So you have to keep seeking to find what works for you. And when I found intermittent fasting, I was literally shocked. My mouth fell open. Like, really? You mean
Wow.
I'm not gonna gain no weight? I'm gonna stabilize, and it's been very. I've been very pleased. Everything,
Even the healthy stuff should be done in moderation. One of the main things you should do is start eating in a saucer instead of regular plates.
boy, bye. I ain't eating out no sauce. Well, and that's what I'm saying about the intermittent fasting. I pretty much eat what I want when I want, as long as it's within that window. As
Yeah.
long as it's within that window,
Uh-huh.
then I stay. My body stays the same, and I'm impressed. I got real impressed.
I
So
hear you. One thing though, I agree with Larry in terms of portion sizes, because portion sizes is what's wrong with America.
well,
We supersize everything. Everything's got to be big. It's like go big or go home, and we got everything that's supersized. I mean everything, and they make it a not just a joke, but they make it a goal to eat as much as you can. One thing I realized when I was overseas a few weeks ago, in Rome and in Italy and in Greece, is that one, there was very little obesity. I don't remember seeing anybody obese when I was in Italy and Rome and Greece. I saw very little. As a matter of fact, the clothes that they sell, they don't even sell clothes that are plus sizes. It's like their clothes are one size fit all. Most of the things that they sell over there, a lot of the clothes that they sell over there, the t-shirts, the dresses, if it's something that's indigenous to their area, It's one size fit all. They don't have a lot of obesity over there. And it's because one, everybody's walking everywhere they go because you're in these small towns and everybody's walking around. And then two, um, most of the things that they're eating are fresh. They're fresh. They make their pasta fresh. You see a lot of fruit and vegetable carts all over the place. So people are buying their fruits and vegetables fresh. They're growing their own. I saw lemon trees and orange trees in town. You can just walk by and pull a lemon off of a tree, and they're growing everything themselves. So that's what's wrong. That's part of what's wrong with our American food. Everything is so processed, and because of the process, we are all getting these preservatives and these additives and these pesticides and everything that they're using to make things last longer. When it's supposed to have a specific shelf life. If you don't eat it after a week, you probably shouldn't eat it.
But that goes back to us managing, because the Food and Drug Administration allows the companies.
Yes.
If they sell Lay's potato chips in Rome, they are not the same Lay's potato chip that we get here.
No, they are not.
Rome won't allow them to put all that in. The United States allows them. So you have to manage your own. You can't eat what is that, Uncle Ray's chips or some of them. I'll be looking at chips. I don't know where they, Lay's, there's so much stuff in them.
Yeah.
And now if you notice, because people are eating more sea salt, they're making more chips that are salted with sea salt.
Yes.
They're appealing to the public, but you got to see what else are they putting in there.
Yes.
Because
you got to look at the ingredients.
Yep.
You got to look at the ingredients. You got to look at the dyes. Like, I've never been a fan of Doritos and Hot Cheetos and all of that, but those dyes that they use for that are not good for you. The red dyes, the yellow dyes,
and it is not good for them.
No.
They got another one, Takis. Those Hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
They making everything hot now. They
Yes.
make, at first it was just the Hot Cheetos. Now they got hot chips. They got hot popcorn. They got.
Listen. I saw a food truck that has a hamburger with the Hot Cheetos on it. Now the hamburger's already big, like the hamburger's already big. It's a double cheeseburger, but they got the Hot Cheetos on top of that. And then they got Hot Cheetos on fries. And then they got Hot Cheetos on all kinds of stuff. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And people are buying these things and then they're wondering why they're sick and they're wondering why. But this is why. And we have to do better. We have to understand that we should not be as I'm sure the documentary that Sandy was just mentioning, I'm sure we should not be living to eat. We should be eating to live. We should be eating, for nourishment's sake. And I know we want it to taste good, and that's not a bad thing because we have taste buds for a reason. However, we got to make sure that we train. Yes, we got to train our palate. We got to retrain our palates so that we don't succumb to so much salt and so much sugar. Even in sodas, if people would just stop drinking pop, they would lose weight probably faster than they would if they gave up salt. Yes, absolutely. And like she's saying, when I had the addiction to sugar for a long time, it was something else going on. It was a sign that my body was trying to tell me that my iron was low. But because I was addicted to the sugar, I did not realize that that's what was going on because the sugar kept me energized long enough to do whatever it was that I was trying to do. And I would crash every night because I wasn't eating sugar. And literally, I would crash. But in the morning when I woke up, best believe the first thing I was going to do was get me a cup of sugar. And I was eating it with a spoon. So once I found out that my hemoglobin was 5 and I was supposed to be dead, but for the grace of God, I realized that I needed to be, taking some iron. And so once I started, infusing my body with iron, and I did not do the infusions, I just started eating spinach because I like spinach. So I was eating spinach raw, I was eating it cooked, and I was taking iron pills to supplement that as well. Once my hemoglobin came up, then my sugar craving and addiction just went away. It just disappeared. Like I didn't even realize that I had stopped eating it until I realized that I stopped eating it. And it was probably weeks later because of the sugar. And so when we have these cravings, we have to realize that our body is trying to tell us something. Listen to your body. Listen to your body. It's going to tell you that something's wrong or that you need to be doing something differently. Yes, find the root of your cravings. And it could be medical, it could be mental. We stress eat, people stress eat or do all kinds, or emotionally eat, to cover up emotions and all kinds of things. If you notice, the major grocery stores have a bunch of junk food on the shelves where you stand in the line. Absolutely. Not just the grocery stores, but TJ Maxx, all them stores, they all got sugar in the line as you trying to get around to pay for the stuff that you came in the store to buy. So it ain't just the grocery stores. It's a lot of stores. The shoe stores have snacks in line. What's that? Burlington Coat Factory, or it ain't Coat Factory anymore. Burlington has snacks in line. Ross store has snacks in line. Everybody have snacks in line now, even Five Below. I mean, so everywhere you go, they're trying to feed us this sugar, and you gotta be strong and say no. So I hope we've said something tonight. Say no to salt. Say no to sugar. If you walk every day and if you change from table salt to sea salt, and if you stop drinking pop, those three things right there, you're going to lose some weight. I promise you. You're going to be healthier than you were before. And so I just want to challenge you today. Listen, I know we've all had issues and with our diets and with our, exercise regimens or the lack thereof. But we could all do something better. We could all do something different. And I don't want to see anyone else lost, lose their battle with their life because of the food that they chose to eat and the things that they chose to drink. And so that was the whole purpose of this show tonight. Again, my condolences and my heartfelt love and hugs to the Ward family. And I am going to be a committee of one to make sure that people know that you don't have to go out. You don't have to go out like that. You don't. You can die of natural causes, 107 years old, in the bed with all your children, great-grandchildren, and grandchildren surrounding you with smiles on your face, and you can go to sleep and wake up with Jesus. And it doesn't have to be from a heart attack and heart disease. And that's my show tonight. Pastor D, do you have anything you want to add?
No, just manage your health, live long. Let me make my sign. Hold on. Live long and be well.
Live long and prosper.
Oh, live long and prosper.
Yes, live long and prosper. We love you tonight. Thank you for joining us. And I hope you decided what you were going to do for you. Okay. So I hope you're either going to get rid of salt, change salts, exercise, drink more water. We love you. Thank you for being with us tonight. God bless.
I was following the process of applying and I was getting rejection letters. That was kind of disheartening. But I just continued to push through. Usually when I got to that question of, have you ever been convicted of a felony? Sometimes I would check yes and provide supporting documentation. I tried to do the expungement process on my own. I felt like I was being sent on a wild goose chase. Ultimately, I finished the process, but as a result of me having more than one felony at the time, I was rejected and I couldn't apply again for like 36 months. So after that time had passed, I heard about Project Clean Slate. As a result of Project Clean Slate, I've been able to advance my career. It was a seamless process. I want to say like 8 or 9 months in total. Initially, I submitted the online application. Soon after that, I was contacted for fingerprinting. After fingerprinting, I had my hearing with the judge and the prosecuting attorney. After that, I was notified that my record was sealed and I was no longer a convicted felon.
Hey, this is Pastor Lydia. I love WVTC Detroit, where the Spirit is flowing, and I be flowing with the Spirit.
You've been listening to Soulful Inspiration. We're so glad you hung out with us today. We're here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on WVTC Detroit. If you'd like to partner with us or sponsor a show with your business, send us an email at tntsoulllc@gmail.com, or you can call us at 313-570-8280. I'm your girl, Nikki Jones.
The views and opinions expressed on the previous broadcast are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WVTC Radio Detroit, its advertisers, or affiliates.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.